31, 36, 34. There we go. Do you recognize those clips? All those clips were filmed between June 1st and June 30th. That's right. We had a good, solid, oh man, we're going to break it down in a second, but a good, solid month of training in June 2020. As I turn the page from 34 years old to 35 years old, including the 1 mile time trial and all, and actually it's so cool. Oh man, I know I'm always talking about like Strava and Facebook, but I'd say at least a dozen people have, I guess, been inspired to do their own time trials on their birthdays. So thank you for sharing those in the Facebook group especially. It's just, whether it's a 5K or a 10K or a 1 mile like I did on the track. So anyway, June 2020, absolutely epic. But I gotta say right now, I struggle. As a daily content creator on YouTube, meaning I'm publishing every single day, it is difficult for me, and it's just one of my weaknesses, I would say, of pause. Hitting the pause button and taking a deep breath every now and then and reflecting back. And today's Sunday, it's a good day to just chill out and reflect, especially since I'm in taper mode. I'll get to that in a minute. But just to chill out and reflect back on really a lot of different things. I'd say since the DGR virtual marathon in, oh my goodness, late April, and now all the way into, obviously 2020 has thrown us so many curveballs, not knowing with racing and everything else with a pandemic. But then June 2020 hits and it's like, okay, the snow is melting in the mountains here in Colorado. Usually I get, good training in the summertime, and sure enough, it appears things have gone off pretty well for me, but it's a good time for me to stop and reflect because guess what? I'm not good at it. I like to go. You've probably figured that out about me with, the daily YouTube channel and running quite a bit. So that's anyway, something for you all to keep me accountable to keep hitting the pause button every now and then. So that's what I'm trying to do now and figure out, yes, the question connected to the title of the vlog, am I running too much? Did I run too much in June? So we're going to break it down right now. June 2020, here are some stats from the training. I looked it up on Strava, 446 miles, I do believe, is what I saw just a minute ago inside. That is by far the best, I would say, as far as volume of training, hitting the volume, and then not getting injured, okay? In college, I would hit that type of volume, but I would more often than not end up with a stress fracture, but that did not happen. And frankly, I feel pretty darn good at this point. And in addition to the 446 miles, the vertical was 13,000 feet the first week, 15,000 the second week, 14 the third, 16 last week, and then the last basically June into July this past week was like 8,000 or 9,000. So that combination is very, very interesting. Again, going back to what I said after the DGR virtual marathon, being a little loosey-goosey, taking some calculated risks, and I just communicate this, obviously, I hope not to brag, not to boast, but just to share that I'm trying to right now in this moment as I lead into the Kendall Mountain Run, a race next weekend, to reflect and to hit that pause button and make sure. Oh yeah, question of the day. I was going to ask this at the beginning of the vlog. Glad I remember now. Question of the day. How often in one calendar year do you hit the pause button and reflect back on your training? Okay, and I mean like a big reflection, like I'm going through right now, and I'm going to continue it this afternoon in my house. And it's not just analyzing numbers. You know me, I'm not a numbers guy. It's just like being, reflecting back and being frankly, just grateful. I realize sometimes training blocks lead to injuries, and it's a little more difficult to be grateful, but just to remain a little bit grateful and I think plant seeds for hunger to come back in the next training block and be like, okay, that was awesome. That felt good. I think I moved my fitness forward, even if it was just 2%, 3%, 5%, and I want to do that again after a break. That's what I'm about to approach into. I'm going to taper this week, run the Kendall Mountain Run, and then take a deep breath and take a break and let the body reset for, I don't know yet, at least Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I'm putting myself on the spot. At least 5 days. At least 5 days of no running, and then probably a day on, day off type of situation for the next week after that. We'll see how the body reacts to the resting. Now, connected to the question up above, running too much? Question mark, okay? And here's my little, okay, just my opinion, but my tip of the day. We're going to talk about opinions. I love Strava. I love being able to, you know what I love the most about Strava and DeMoor Global Running on Strava? I love seeing your pictures, and I love, honestly, looking at the maps of where you run and like looking at the vertical and just like, you know, because there's literally people around the world sharing their runs on DGR, and it's like, first of all, I would love to go run in some of these locations around the world with all of you one day, but in addition to Strava, as we're sharing our runs, my little tip of the day is trust. Trust the process, meaning you trust yourself and or your coach, okay? You know, a lot of opinions can be shared down in the comments below my runs or maybe below your runs as well, where people are like, whoa, Seth, you know, simmer down now. I think you're running too much. I think you're running too much vertical. I think you need to back off the FKTs. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your opinion. But my tip of the day is make sure you trust what you're doing, because you should not be persuaded away from the game plan. Obviously, if you're a rookie runner, a new runner, yeah, you might need some help from someone to help guide you in your training. Or hopefully like an experienced coach that really knows what they're doing. But thank you for being part of DGR. I think it's like 8,000 runners now around the world, which is absolutely amazing. Of course, it's linked down below. Now here we go. Running too much? Question mark. I'm not afraid to give you my straight answer. I wouldn't put it in the title of the vlog if I wasn't going to give you my answer. So here we go. Point number one, the fact that I emerged July 1st out of that month of training in June injury-free tells me that I did not run too much, okay? So that was the most volume of running I've ever done in a month and stayed healthy, okay? So again, coming back to those calculated risks. So that's point number one. Point number two is it's a little difficult to assess because I haven't run a real race, right? I think that's the best way to test your fitness, test your mental strength, not just your physical strength, but how have you grown mentally strong through your training block, okay? So I haven't been on a starting line since the World Mountain Running Championships in Argentina, now it will change next week in Silverton, Colorado. But so anyway, that's point number two, is I haven't been able to really test it in a race. But point number three, just gotta say, the FKTs is very, very intriguing. I'm not gonna say it's definitive, but I'm gonna say it's intriguing, especially that Mount Elbert one where I was able to drop 3 minutes in a year from over 4.5 miles of running with 4,100 feet of vertical gain and loss. A 3-minute PR on Mount Elbert, that's interesting. So that and this is where the reflection comes in for all of you as well. And having, in the time of coronavirus, incorporating little tests along the way, whether it's a time trial, whether it's an FKT attempt, whether it's a personal course record attempt through the neighborhoods where you live. Not too often, but every now and then, just trying to figure out, okay, where is my fitness moving? And I'll just say a little shout out to the high schoolers. Thank you for watching, by the way. Gosh, I'm just like, all I can say is I am just hoping that the cross-country season is going to happen for all of you. And hopefully your coaches are working in backup plans just in case something doesn't happen. Or maybe it's a shortened season. For example, an early time trial in August, if they say, okay, we're only going to do league, regionals, and state, or something. I hope that doesn't happen, but all these little backup plans. So anyway, that's point number three for, am I running too much? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I actually nailed it, because if you notice on my mileage, I went from May, I think I was like 95, 100, 105, 107, 107, 107. Why? I was listening to the body, and it was tempting, very tempting to go 110, 112, maybe even 115, but I could sense that at 107, boom, I was done. I was like, this is perfect, especially given the amount of vertical, all right? So there's the vlog for today. Thanks for coming on the reflective journey with me. I'm gonna try and do better at hitting the pause button, because I just get in this mode of work and editing and vlogging, and I think it's really good for all of us to hit the pause every now and then and just think back on where we've come from. Oh, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. I know it's a simple vlog here in the studio. I hope it gives you a little insight into what I do leading into, well, in this case, I guess leading into Kendall Mountain, but especially after big peak races for me, which, you know, hasn't happened in 2020. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Oh, what was I going to toss it back to? Toss it back to something. You know what? We'll do the world, the last race. We'll do the World Mountain Running Championships from 2019. That's all I can think of on the spot. World Mountain Running Championships 2019, right there, down in Argentina. Onward and upward. Thanks for being here. I'm humbled, everybody. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.